Hello SolidWorks community. SolidWorks 2022 is just around the corner. It features many enhancements to help you work smarter, work faster, and work together. We have focused on quality and robustness, so your tools are more reliable than ever. And of course, many new features you won't want to live without. Each year, you face new challenges. You rediscover the old ways of working are just not good enough. At SolidWorks, we agree. Each release, we make significant strides to improve the tools you trust. We also are transforming our ecosystem with our 3D Experience Works portfolio. You take what you already know and love with SolidWorks and supercharge it with all of the System-based technology. So you work smarter, work faster, work together. This year we feature a long-time customer in the Netherlands, U-Boat Works. This fall, they are launching their Nemo submarine. It is one of the most sophisticated pieces of underwater tech available to consumers. It's an award-winning, revolutionary design and personalized for individual use. We are so proud to be part of their innovation, as well as your next great project. For now, sit back and take in everything new in SolidWorks 2022 and the 3D Experience Works.
Well, good day everybody, and welcome to yet another Innovation Day, which is happening online. We certainly hope that this is going to be the last one, because we genuinely really do miss getting out there once a year and meeting the customers around the country, putting names to faces and actually getting a personal touch and getting that feedback directly from you as to how we're doing and how the product's doing, that sort of thing. We honestly miss that. So look, it has been a bad year. It's been difficult for everybody, obviously not just here in New South Wales, but for everybody around the country. So hopefully this is going to be the last one. Next year we're going to be back to normal. And this year, of course, we have another host of exciting features to introduce to you. I know the tech team have been working extremely hard to get the presentations ready that you're going to be seeing over the next 3 sessions. This year, of course, it's not just SolidWorks. There's a great deal of emphasis going into the 3D Experience platform, and that's something which brings with it some very exciting and very, very profitable new ways of working. And that's something which we really want to get across in these sessions, that the way SolidWorks is moving with 3D Experience platform, taking us forward, taking SolidWorks to the cloud, and giving you the freedom and the ability to collaborate within teams, to pick and choose what products you need just while you need them. It's an exciting thing, and there's an awful lot to it. We're still learning, but we're getting there. So I think you're going to find out a lot more about that, as well as what's new in SolidWorks. So again, thank you very, very much for supporting us through these difficult times. I wish you all the very best for your business, and I sincerely hope that this time next year we can meet face to face.
SolidWorks 2022 helps us be more productive with thoughtful user experience enhancements. The Nemo assembly isn't complete without all 4C thrusters in place. Command search is integrated into the S key shortcut menu. You can even have SolidWorks show you its location for future reference. The position and orientation of the thruster has been precisely calculated, so mating to a coordinate system would be a good strategy. In SolidWorks 2022, coordinate systems can be defined using specific numerical values, which makes the placement of second thruster a snap. Origin visibility is currently turned off. With SolidWorks 2022, the new Q key keyboard shortcuts allow you to quickly turn on the assembly or component reference geometry, such as planes, coordinate systems, and origin. These thrusters need to be mirrored. Commonly used tools like this are conveniently added to the shortcut bar with one click. And the new Q key shortcut works even while creating these features. As we can see that we have successfully created the mirror, we have successfully mirrored the subsea component. Dismissed messages have always been easy to show again, but now they are more easier and convenient. Now, hovering over an item reveals the whole message, making it easy to determine if we would like to show it again. When you need to collect a project and all reference component, there is no better tool than Pack and Go. In 2022, you now see a progress bar which gives you an indication as how long the process will take place, and which is especially useful when working with larger assemblies. SolidWorks 2022 offers faster ways to access your design from the start. Large Design Review mode introduced in a previous release provides a lightning fast way to open your large assemblies with very few limitations. The large and complex 6031 components Nemo assembly from U-Bot Works opens in merely 13 seconds, allowing us to work faster. New in SolidWorks 2022 is the ability to easily open drawings from large design review assembly in detailing mode from the right mouse menu. Detailing mode is an extremely efficient way to both open and work on your existing drawing documents. This helps us to be more productive and quickly get our drawings done. Like opening the large assembly of Neo, the drawing is opened rather quickly as well. It takes about 28 seconds to open the drawing file. Detailing mode is a fully interactive way to work with large drawings. In the detailing modes, even though if there are already views created, we can continue detailing those views and make changes to them. We can add dimensions, notes, tables, and more. This makes it very easy to make changes to large drawings and design files. The ability to quickly access drawings from large design review mode. In this way will streamline how you work with large and complex designs. Additionally, in 2022, you can open sub-assemblies from large design review mode in this lightweight format as well. This ensures that you are not loading any unnecessary information that's not currently needed. Whenever you want to access fully resolved module, you can choose to open them from the same right mouse menu. Likewise, you can always resolve an assembly that is already opened in large design review mode. This ability to access lightweight files and quickly switch between them will ensure you can work in the most efficient ways possible. Moving components in SolidWorks is now easier. When selected from the feature tree manager, you are now presented with a tray that makes it extremely simple to get a components into just correct spot. The Quick Mates toolbar in SolidWorks 2020 also gives you more control by presenting you with the option to make adjustments before adding a mate such as the alignment. This is also true when adding circular types of mate, where you will be given the opportunity to lock the rotation of them before confirming. This is especially useful in the case of mates that allow both of these conditions. The intelligent pattern driven patterns get even smarter in SolidWorks 2022. Now, when you choose a component to pattern, SolidWorks will always choose that component's location as the seed for determining how to create and position the other instances. Even if you change the location of the component to a different location, the pattern still assumes that the component you are patterning is in the seed position. This means it's much easier to take advantage of existing patterns and whole wizard features to quickly position multiple instances of components such as hardware and rapidly populate your assemblies. Configurations are a powerful way to create alternative versions of parts and assemblies all within a single document. You can choose to have instances of components included or excluded from different versions of the design. You can also choose to use alternate configurations of other components in each configurations. The possibilities are endless, and as more variations are made, keeping track of this can get complicated. However, new for SolidWorks 2022 is the new configuration table. The table makes it much easier to both create and manage configurations. From the table, you can add new versions to your design, and you can also choose to toggle the separation state of different components on and off. Likewise, you can specify which version of the components to use in each configuration. If you make changes to the configurations manually, such as suppressing components that weren't included before, they will be added to the table as well. Let's suppress some of the components manually to check this in our design table, in our configuration table. The configuration table also has filters to make it easier to focus on what's important. For example, you may want to ensure that the custom properties for each configurations are unique to each new version of the assembly. We can do that in this configuration table. Finally, when looking at a bill of materials, there will be cases when components in the design should not be included. This option can be controlled from the component's properties in the assembly to specify this. However, this can become time consuming for parts that regularly should not be included. New for SolidWorks 2022 is a new configuration option at the component level where you can specify that a component should have this option enabled by default, saving you time from having to change this each time the component is used. SolidWorks 2022 introduces a wide variety of performance and usability. The improvements also ensure that you can focus on the engineering of your designs and less time determining how to manipulate them. Designers demand the ability to create manufacturable products using an ever-increasing variety of file formats. SolidWorks 2022 makes this easier than ever with the new enhancements for Mesh BREP formats and tools that help you view and edit critical information. This ball valve, which is equipped with logout tagout feature, is perfect for control panel. But the handle is too plain. The supplier has provided their files in Mesh BREP format. As we can see, there are 3 different solid bodies. In SolidWorks 2022, working with these files is just like working with native geometry. Creating features like chamfers, extrude, making plane references, and more no longer require intermediate bodies and Boolean operations. The handle needs a slot for a lock. Now, in SolidWorks 2022, whole wizard slot length can be defined by arc length or centers. Also, when positioning the slot, the tab key toggles between vertical and horizontal orientation. Manufacturing this handle will require draft. Bidirectional parting line draft would be the most appealing. But first, let's create a split line which can be used to create this bidirectional draft. Let's access draft command from our shortcut tab. In SolidWorks 2022, You can now create draft in both directions by using a parting line rather than having to create two separate draft features. This mesh files contain three bodies. Let's save them as a single body. Now, in SolidWorks 2022, Pack and Go recognizes the reference created when using the save bodies and split part command. This way, you can choose which files you need without having to find them manually in Windows Explorer. Section views are a great way to inspect components, but sometimes a suitable plane doesn't exist. Now, you can specify a section view from any cylindrical face, conical face, or axis. These 22 cut threads are useful for rapid prototyping, but it's too much detail for higher volume manufacturing, and they make the file large and complex. Therefore, the new stud wizard is a great choice here, as it automatically recognizes the diameter of the boss but still provides a list of different thread sizes and pitches to use. The stud wizard adds cosmetic threads that can be called out in a 3D annotation or 2D drawings. In SolidWorks 2022, configuration specific properties have been separated into two tabs: configuration properties and properties summaries. In the first tab, property information is added just like you would expect. Now, you can choose which configurations they are applied to using the drop-down. The Properties Summaries tab provides a useful way to compare configuration based on custom properties. Designers sometimes have no choice of the files they receive from the supplier, but still need to support the design through to several different manufacturing methods. SolidWorks 2022 provides the tools you need to get the job done fast and efficiently while providing improved visibility to critical product information. SolidWorks makes it easy to create frames and structures with structure systems. 2020 is no exception, with enhancement to secondary members and more. Secondary members are defined using existing structural bodies. These vertical posts will be carrying a heavy compressive and bending load, so it will need extra support. Now, creating multiple secondary member is fast. You just need to select a point and multiple bodies are created. All corner treatments are just as intuitive to define as they have been in past, giving us the full control over the end result. Also, new to SolidWorks this year is the ability to define or insert connection elements. These are great for members that are designed to be bolted rather than welded. These legs require a base plate so that cradle can be attached to the floor. Just select the member and the plate is automatically centered at the end. If a connection element doesn't meet your design need, it can be adjusted on the fly. Let's add another plate at the top to complete the design. Gussets and end caps are also supported for structural members in SolidWorks 2022 and are just as easy to define as before. Mirroring features and components is a very commonly used function. Now, in 2022, you can mirror across two planes or faces. This particular operation will no longer require two separate mirror features and can be done in a single operation itself. Let's create another mirror command. Let's select right plane and the face of the base plate. Let's select the bodies to mirror, and we can select multiple bodies using this selection. As you can see, we have successfully created mirror operation using two different planes. Now, SolidWorks has also introduced the ability to create an edge flange on the circular edges of a non-planar base in 2021. This has been improved to allow you to edit the flange profile directly inside the property manager so that you can specify the exact flange length you want. Let's go to edit flange profile and let's select the exact length that we want. It's a simple drag and drop and it will cut the extra flange for us. Also, this structure system is powerful but flexible too. With these new enhancements to secondary members, connection elements, mirroring, and sheet metal, creating frames and structures is easier than ever. Companies need to build designs right the first time. That means clearly communicating through SolidWorks drawing. And sometimes these files are huge. You can open even your largest prints in just seconds and work on them without the overhead of loading any parts or assemblies or even having them on your machine. You can edit notes, snap in the missing balloon, as well as organize sheets. We can even add dimensions as well as set tolerance limit in this detailing mode. This makes it very easy to work with huge files in SolidWorks 2022 using detailing mode. In SolidWorks 2022 in detailing mode, now we can even insert whole tables. We can go to tables and insert the whole table. We can also drag and drop standard views from the palette in the detailing mode. When we are done with the changes, we can save them as well as print them in a completely accurate document. What about the older drawings that haven't been accessed in years? In 2022, SolidWorks has extended the ability to open any prior version drawing right to detailing mode. This file was last opened in 2002. Also, you will always be able to open a drawing even if you don't have reference model, make changes and save them as PDF. What else is new with drawings? How about a new in context menu? This pop-up lets you toggle a circular dimension between diameter, radius or linear. For turn parts, the new symmetric linear diameter dimension will come in handy. These are double dimensions, which I can apply in a single click to a sheet hole edge or in batch with multiple axis mode. This new annotation type allows for a clean section view by eliminating redundant leader lines. Geometric dimensioning and tolerancing allows functional definition of component features and allowances, so I can clearly illustrate manufacturing intent. SolidWorks 2022 introduces a brand new interface to define geometric tolerance indicators. The intuitive step-by-step input is easier than ever. Specifications, zone, features, filters, characteristics, modifiers, and datum references. We can even add adjacent and auxiliary indicators, create text, stacked, and composite indicators. In a design like this, I have many unique weldment parts. All of these parts have their own cut list. This is rich data. But how do I roll that up to one assembly level table? With SolidWorks 2022, the detailed cut list option is available for bill of material of all types. This means you can aggregate multiple cut lists into an assembly BOM, providing you with more flexibility and depth of control. We can also link custom properties to this cut list table. Predefined views are useful to give new drawings a standardized layout. Now in 2022, the flat pattern view is available. And there is a new option to toggle blend line visibility, increasing your ability to automate documentation of sheet metal parts. In SolidWorks 2021 electrical schematic, if you wanted to use a manufacturer part which wasn't available in manufacturer parts library, we had to access web browser and download it from the web browser itself. But now in SolidWorks 2022, it has been made easier and you can access it under VIV tab Electrical Content Board. All the newly added manufacturer parts can be accessed from here. Not only that, we can search for a particular manufacturer and access all the manufacturer parts available. In this case, we have used Wago manufacturer as our reference. PLCs have different libraries, and one that you may need has different sections like 2D footprints, symbols, and manufacturer parts, which can be accessed from here itself. That's giving us more flexibility while working.
Welcome to SolidWorks 2022 Visualize. Bringing a concept live in the design stage through the product rendering and animation can help accelerate sales and marketing initiatives. Let's see how Visualize 2022 makes it easier than ever to generate professional level output for any users. HDRI environment have long been supported in Visualize. These 3D assets cannot apply a background image but also include some scene lighting. This lakeside environment has the perfect sunlight source, but the background image will need to be replaced with something that is more targeted to the potential commercial audience. Since 2D stock images are accessible and come in all shapes, size, this can add the perfect touch to any rendering, but traditionally require a trial and error process to align the model perspective that to the background image by itself. Visualize 2022 simplifies this process dramatically with the new match camera capabilities. Using two-point perspective of the horizon and ship structure along with the ship walkway, the camera focal length is calculated and applied to the 3D geometry. This builds additional photorealism into the project by seamlessly integrating 2D image to 3D model. The next step is to make sure that the location of light source in the 3D environment aligns with the light source in the background image. Rotating the previously added HDRI environment and watching for the Nemo shadow to align with the shadow on the decking is easy. Unfortunately, the shadow casted of the Nemo seems to be bleed off of the ship wall, as you can see into the following video. This is no longer a problem in Visualize 2022. Primitive geometry can come in handy for multiple scenarios. And in this case, the wall primitive brings it in a vertical plane, which can then be positioned and scaled to replicate the wall location. New in Visualize 2022 is the ability to convert this geometry to a shadow catcher, which leaves the shadow exposed while removing the primitive geometry, giving the exact level of details needed for this rendering. Perfect. Now you can see into the following figure, the shadow has been captured throughout the walls. For the next image, capturing the Nemo in its natural habitat is must. Leveraging the configuration and additional cameras in Visualize is an easy way to keep all your renderings in a single project. For an underwater shot, updating the HDRI environment and background image from the library asset is just a drag and drop. As we saw, it is important to replicate this scene lighting as close as possible. This time, an additional area lighting is added by switching to the top view and using add to match camera to create the light source. At any point, you can switch between the live rendering to preview mode. This is an easy way to manage the system performance when setting up your project, such as adding and positioning additional 3D assets. For this image, including the blue line snapper adds a nice touch. But what about adding a school fish? Previous version of Visualize had the ability to create a model formation but required 2 or more instances. New in Visualize 2022, you can pattern and now create from a single instances. and with a scatter feature randomizing these assets fetched by defining the number of instances. For the final rendering, a third configuration is created to capture an exploded animation of Nemo. With the timeline enabled, groups are selected and keyframed to define their start and end position. Going through this process of keyframing, multiple parts and groups can quickly clutter the timeline. Now in Visualize 2022, the items added to the animation timeline can be nicely organized into folders by organizing into the group option, as you can see into the following figure. The animation ribbons can also be colored and coded, making it easy to find the reposition these keyframes into the perfect place. The first camera is all set to wide angle perspective and it is keyframed into the timeline. As a single camera can capture the action, but multiple cameras really bring a professional touch. You can easily repeat the process. Going back through each of these three configurations, everything looks good and final render process can begin. As the process moves along and each rendering finishes up, as I'm going to skip the rendering process for now. Visualize 2022 offers a new updated output viewer to keep your projects even more organized. Render settings can be reviewed and projects can be cancelled or re-rendered as needed. And the best of all, projects output are referenced and the final deliverables can be opened. Year over year, SolidWorks 2022 Visualize takes an advantage of the latest rendering technology and simplify it for the heavy users.